Hi, in this episode, we are talking about my moving from Buffalo to Urbana and then getting a room there and how my life there was till I got married and moved to New York. So, as I told in the last episode, I was in Buffalo with an assistantship and I got a fellowship. I think it was called Walter Stalner Fellow with Dr. Sheth. He is considered one of the gurus of marketing, along with Philip Kotler and people like that. So I moved, I had my car that I had bought from Dr. Adappa for $600. So in that car, I loaded up everything I have and headed to Urbana. So in Urbana, I found a room. I found a house where there were three people earlier. One of them had just left, and they were looking for a roommate. And I was there perfectly on time. So they graciously accepted me as the third person. It was only a three-bedroom house. Sorry, it was a two-bedroom house, but three of us. They graciously gave me one of the bedrooms, and in the other bedroom, the other two used to stay. But the other two was one was an architect student from Kerala, and one was I think an engineering student from Andhra Pradesh. And this Andhra Pradesh guy, I think his name was Reddy, he used to always sleep on the couch in the living room. So it was like three people having three rooms. Because there was only one bathroom. And the cooking arrangement was we three joined together and cooked one day each in turns. And so I had to cook only once in 3 days, which was good. And each one used to make their own whatever their favorite dishes was. Because I always made chicken curry and rice or fried rice, things like that. One of the highlights of living in Urbana and as a bachelor was, going to the IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, where once a week or once a month they used to have after midnight, it was a 24-hour place. After midnight, all you can eat pancakes for 99 cents. I remember very well. In fact, when I'm saying about this, I don't think I told you about Buffalo. When I was in Buffalo, there used to be a bar near the main campus where they used to serve chicken wings. And normally, chicken wings was $2 for 20 wings or something. And they were amazing wings. And on one day, Wednesdays, I think, in that bar, they used to have buy one get one free. So for $2 on Wednesdays we could eat 40 wings each. Because those wings were smaller. It was not like today. Today we see the wings are quite big. Those days it was smaller. And the most important thing what I wanted to tell you about that place was that is where the today's current buffalo wings originated. Okay? The word buffalo comes from that town, and as a student, that was one of our favorite places to go every Wednesday to eat this 40 wings for $2. And I had never seen wings, in those days anywhere, US or India. In fact, later on, when we went back to India, I introduced the wings concept to our family, so we all started making it. And the side that goes with wings is blue cheese. So I was really fond of blue cheese. I had taken a few bottles of blue cheese with me. Uh, so that is about the buffalo and buffalo wings and the history of where this buffalo word comes from attached to the wings. Today we go anywhere, everywhere there is buffalo wings. So here in the International House of Pancakes was this 99 cents all you can eat. And as young students, 20-year-olds, 20 years something, 20 something, we used to really, I don't know, I might eat 20 pancakes. It was one of those days. And the worst before that was the drinking part. They used to have this 1 gallon, this big bottle, 1 gallon wines, and they used to come on sale for 99 cents. So we used to each one have one bottle of 1 gallon of wine and go for this unlimited pancakes. That was the fun part of the life there. But primarily I went there for my fellowship with Dr. Jagdish Sheth. And I didn't have to really work, but I was his research assistant. So I had developed a concept in marketing about this what do you call the product life cycle. Okay, the product life cycle, for those who studied marketing will know, the curve starts off very low, and then it goes up, it reaches a plateau, stays there, and then it comes down. So initially, when it's low, the y-axis is the number of people. So the number of people who use that product keeps low, and those people are called innovators. That is, they are willing to try the product when it is new, and then slowly it goes up. So when it goes up, the new people who come there are called adapters, early adapters. The people who know this product is there, heard about it and want to try. So that's why the number of users goes up. And then it reaches the peak. So in any product, when they introduce very few users, then adapters, early adopters, then it reaches after early adopters, the plateau, which is called maturity phase. And depending on the product, it could stay in the maturity phase for a long time, or could be a short time, and then it comes down. And I had come up with a theory that this curve mimics just like an aircraft's path, from takeoff to climbing up, reaching cruising altitude, staying there till your destination, and then slowly making the reverse of the climb up. It goes down, it keeps dropping and then goes for the landing. So I had taken the mathematical equations of the path of an aircraft, which is determined by 4 factors. One is called the lift, that because of the shape of the plane, the aerofoil, it creates a kind of a vacuum when the air flows over the wings, a very minimum, it creates an area of vacuum which actually sucks the plane up. That's why it gets the lift. So that was called the lift. And then the weight of the plane itself was falling down. It makes it fall down by itself on gravity. So lift was one, weight is the other. Then because of the friction, the air friction, there is a drag on it. Drag. That is, the plane, it will not let the plane go as if it can go in a vacuum. it gives some resistance. And then the fourth was called the thrust. The thrust is what is provided by the engines, the jet engines of the propellers. So there are equations, mathematical equations, quadratic equations or something that incorporates these four elements in the equation, and it would determine the path of the plane. So I tried to equate it to the four forces that work on any product. The thrust is the push of the company through advertising and all that stuff. So that's that force. The weight is the inherent negative qualities of the product that brings the product down, and the lift is the good qualities of the product itself that makes it rise, and the drag that's caused in aircraft by the friction. The drag is what the companies and all the bad mouth uh, prop- propagation or propaganda of the competition makes it. So my professor, Dr. Jagdish Shet, was very impressed with my idea of trying to incorporate the aerodynamic principles to the marketing of a product. So he, and then there was a finance professor, Dr. Lin. He was also part of the team, and Dr. Jagdish Shet himself. Three of us actually wrote a book on it, which was published by Dr. Lin. He took the initiative. So that was my highlight during my stay and doing my MBA in Urbana. Meanwhile, after I think a year, about a year later, we used to have friends there. There was one friend called Nagarajan who was going to India to get married to Chennai, where I also come from. So I also decided to go there, and he was going for his wedding. His wedding was, we went together, was the day after we landed there. So we went to India, Chennai, and then I actually attended his wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. And after that, I went there for a very short 4 or 5 weeks holiday. And there was pressure from my house that I was also 26 years old, and it was the ideal time according to what our families believed to get married. I said, okay, it was going to be an arranged marriage because I wasn't in love with anybody or nothing like that. So they started looking for a girl. First, there was a girl from Bangalore. She was a dancer. Somebody had brought that alliance, but my mother was not too keen, as my mother was very interested in getting me married to a girl from our own caste, which is Devanga Chettiar. It is a merchant community, it's like a Baniya community, and a particular sect of that Baniya group, Chettiar group, was called Devanga. We were the Devanga sect of that main caste, and our each, the castes are made by the kind of work you do. And this Devanga Chettiars were weavers, they do everything with the weaving. So right from spinning yarn to putting them in the loom and weaving them into cloth. So that was our caste's profession. So of course they found a girl. Her name was Shanti. Shanti incidentally means peace, which was later one of two inspirations with which we named the project we did as ShantiNiketan. ShantiNiketan means peace house. So it was Shanti's house. But our marriage itself was done in such a hurry. Uh, I went and saw the girl, and of course, the way we would see girls there is we are not allowed to talk. Uh, so we had to go to a church. They said like 3 p.m. or something, gave us a time. So we go there, and from about maybe I would say 100 or 200 feet, from about 200 feet, Shanti was standing, was brought to the back of a window so we could see from here. And I was standing there with my cousin. Uh, so we looked at the girl, and that was it. I said okay, and I guess they also said okay. And our wedding was fixed in 10 days. So when we got married, it was almost 4 weeks over in my vacation, and I had only about a week or 10 days left. And in that time period, Shanti did not have a passport. So we had to get a new passport and then the visa, and then we had to come back. So passport, in India those days used to take months, months. But then luckily in the Chennai passport office, there was an officer. I think she was a Bengali or a Orissa officer, and she was like a go-getter. So people who wanted a passport in an emergency would go see her, and she'll find a way to get you one. So I took Shanti there. We had an appointment. We went and talked to her. So I told her my case that I'm a student. I've come here on a 5 week trip, and we just saw the girl, got married, and I have to leave within 10 days. So we need the passport, then we have to get the visa, and then we had to get the ticket fixed, and then we have to leave. So she didn't waste time. She said, "Okay, come tomorrow morning and pick up the passport." I said, "What?" It's never heard of in India at that time that you could get your passport in one day.